This discussion on choosing humanity in the face of inhumanity, based on the history of the genocide perpetrated against the Tutsis in Rwanda in 1994, was deliberated on by different guests. Journalist and writer Jean-François Dupaquier, one of the panelists, elaborated that the severity of the genocide was seen in the free expression of hate, even through media publications.
Le contenu raciste et haineux m'avait profondément choqué.
The hate in publications brought me grief, to a point when President Habyarimana came to Paris in April 1991. In a press conference, I showed him the Kangura newspaper, which was filled with hate. President Habyarimana said that at home, it's what we call freedom of speech. It revealed a lot. That's why today we analyze the role of the media, which served as a tool in sowing hatred amongst Rwandans, as it was also observed on Radio RTLM, which is known in Europe as the Machete Radio.
Et aussi que le surnom de la RTLM, Radio Machette, a fait fantasmer le public occidental.
Major General Charles Karamba, Air Force Chief of Staff and also one of the RPA military personnel who contributed to stopping the genocide against the Tutsis, elaborated the purpose and drive during the liberation struggle.
RPA had a leader. RPF had leadership. When you have a leader, everything is easy. When you have a leader and you follow and respect him, everything works out. The last phase of defeating the enemy and finally getting him out of state power to be able to build this country, to bring humanity to this country. That last phase is the phase that finally, of course, came up to be known as Campaign Against Genocide, which was a tough one. So our commander had a dilemma here to scatter his resources, but at the same time achieve his ultimate objective of dislodging the genocidal government.
Charles Petrie, former Assistant Secretary General to the United Nations, mentioned that this global organization showed weakness in Rwanda and other places in the world that needed urgent support and help.
I would humbly say that General Dallaire did not fail in Rwanda. He was left with very little force, with a very constrained mandate, and having worked directly with him, he did everything he could with the little he had. Initially, there was no desire to intervene. There was a cognizant position of not intervening. It changed. It changed in May, more or less. But by then, 3/4 of the people were already dead. 3/4 of your people were massacred. Rwanda paid the price for the failure of the first post-Cold War international intervention in Somalia. Rwanda paid the price for Somalia. Syria today has paid the price for Libya.
After defeating the enemy and stopping the genocide, Jean-Paul Kimonyo, author and advisor to the office of the President Paul Kagame, says that RPF leadership had responsibility to restore the country that had collapsed, but also choosing what was priority was very key, like uniting Rwandans once again.
Is the consensus for democracy, which at the time was, not only at the time, but even today, is quite controversial. RPF decided no, the most important issue that the country was